Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part: if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, and sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You must show us. And it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked so and so, and it brings about feelings of awakening.
Stibby dim day. We in Global TV say certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona thief. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV. Check it.
A turn to God at last. Is it too little too late though for the Prime Minister to be acting decent? The same Prime Minister over the weekend that asked his supporters to go out and attack, throw stones, be confrontational wherever you meet PNP across the country. This same Prime Minister is telling Labourites, hold the faith. The question, Prime Minister, which faith are you talking about? Good evening and welcome to your program. This is The People's Point of View on Global TV. Thank you for joining us this evening, wherever you are joining us from. Thank you very much for being here. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome. Real sweet, Debbie Jervis, Empress Deb, good evening, good evening. Pamela Akola, good evening and welcome. Good evening. Sunshine, good evening. Good evening, Annie. Good evening, Sharon Bernard. Sorry. Good evening, Colin Humphreys, Ladybug, Karen Nemard. Good evening, I Speak My Mind. Good evening, Ladybug. Good evening, Sophia Hall, JP, Canadian Gal. Good evening, Barbara Simpson, Renice Nicholson, Millicent Jones, Colin, Raymond G, JP, Carlene Richards. Good evening. Let me see who is on the tick. Debbie Jervis TV, Michelle Johnson, Debian Buchanan. No, not Buchanan, it's Duncan. I always do that. Sorry about that. Rohan Friday Mix, Blacker, Instant Nanny, Marjorie, is it Tinny? Veronica, Derek, Cherry, Cohen, Phil, One Duck Things. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Tonight is a freelance night because I went to my friend's house today. My friend came from Jamaica and she brought my bush from my brother and my corn sham, or they call it asham because it's a mixture of peanut and corn, from my niece, cousin Myrna. How you do? As well as I raid through my friend's kitchen and get a whole lot of goodies. Me not tell you lie, me just don't eat fish patty and cocoa bread. Couldn't wait till tomorrow. Me just reach home and me say, can't wait till tomorrow. So I get an East Indian. Lord have mercy, my God. I get an East Indian. For the tree of Jamaica, when you're ripe with carbine. And I get plum. And I get organic honey. And quite a few goodies. Anyway, my people, good evening and welcome. How are you? Welcome to an evening with the crooks. Andrew Holness is asking Labour to hold the faith. And Global TV is asking the Prime Minister, which faith are you talking about? You can't ask somebody to hold what they don't have, Prime Minister. You cannot ask somebody to hold on to thin air. You literally cannot hold thin air, Prime Minister. Just blow through your hand, just so. So you asking Labourites to hold the faith. Once asking the question, Prime Minister, Which faith are you talking about? Because on Sunday or Saturday, whichever the day was, you were asking Laborites to stone the village. It wasn't in such words. But what you asked them to do, Prime Minister, is to go out on the attack. And I'm going to play the video for you, Kyla Shelley, Howard, Raymond G. Sifu Francis. And I want people to listen to the Prime Minister change of tone of voice to the end of his rant and rave. And now, because everything backfired upon the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister is asking Laborites to hold their feet. Prime Minister, tap it back. I don't want cuss tonight, Prime Minister. Stop the backward talking. Laborites held their faith, Prime Minister. You would have heard from Monday evening, some of us came out on social media and commend them for not following your foolish advice. They held the faith, Prime Minister. So when you come out and ask them for hold, are you ask them for attack? You were the one, Prime Minister, who asked them to go out and attack the stray dogs. And so you say, if I know so you say no, so we hear. Go to the top the stray dogs. And then when they turn them back upon you, you come out, you come tell them, say, all the faith. What faith are you talking about, Prime Minister? You know, you all them cheat with on social media. You know, sister, they can't have a conversation with them run up under our parents' clothes. What faith are you talking about? Are the hunger? Are you mean whole the hunger? Because if you had paid them that 5,000 that they're used to on Monday morning, Prime Minister, I mean, there would be roadblock out here, wouldn't it? There would have been roadblock. Lauren, how are you? There would have been roadblock out here if you pay them the 5,000 where them used to come out. But you, Prime Minister, know, say, labor right not just come a road just so. Labor rights, Prime Minister, don't just come a road just so. Labor rights are come a road, something have in there for them. At least a little lunch money, Prime Minister. At least the little lunch money. They now come between the KFC money. So you order them and hear them a blow Google Zela. You think they did really believe you, and them go upon it hungry. They don't have water for bathe before they go out there, mind you. Them go out there hungry. Them go out there, somebody push them over. Them end up a hospital, and then probably have to go back home, Prime Minister, without seeing a doctor. You think them are going to put themselves in a trouble for you without liquor pittance? You know labor right now move without pittance. So you ask them hot-bloodedly, go out there and demonstrate in the market, in the workplace, demonstrate against the bad man. What is bad man-ism, Prime Minister? You're making up things as you go along, isn't it? What is bad man-ism? Define it, Prime Minister. If you come up with an ism, you as someone who have done a doctoral know well, if you come up with an ism, you must give a definition for it, Prime Minister. Please state the definition of bad mindism. You don't come up with an ism, a word, a phrase, Prime Minister, without giving a definition to bad mind. How do you define bad mindism, Prime Minister? Because in academia, if you create a new word or a new phrase, it can be accepted. But, Prime Minister, you must give a definition for that word or phrase that you have coined. That's how academia works. So don't come up with your isms and schism without being able to define it for bright people like me Big overgrown dunce. You can't just talk up the... Let me say this again, Prime Minister. Remember when me and you did grow? We grow, especially we will grow a country, like how you did a town and so on. You may could a thief glean upon roadside and star on them, something there. But we don't have way under down a country there. We used to get what is called children-owned newspaper once a week. And you know, the analysis story, reading book them and the mango tree and and all of them nonsense that what them teach with, what them train with a repeat rather than not teach. What them train with a repeat. And you remember when we just have to listen to what RGR and JBC say, and all if the pill bitter, Prime Minister, we have to swallow it. We're not going to go back to those days. I notice mentally, Prime Minister, young DT, how you do? Norman Ferguson. I notice, Prime Minister, mentally, you're stuck in the era of when we were deprived of information. You are stuck in the era of when we were deprived of information. When we just have to take with JBC and RGR and politicians say, those days are over, Prime Minister. It is with regret that I inform you, we're never going to go back to that. We are at the stage where we all produce our own information, purport our own propaganda, Prime Minister. The difference is, though, for you will claim, say, yeah, Dr. Upsideersy. You're not advanced, you're not move forward. You're not moving forward. Let me play the video for you and listen to the tone of Andrew Holness, who was, what, about 8 years old in 1980? About round about so. Comedy about 6, so Andrew would about 8. The rhetoric goes right back to 1980, Prime Minister, when you were an 8-year-old child, when them decadents there are going in our country. But you have managed to give us 2.0 of 1980, the way how you are going things at the moment. And listen when the Prime Minister get to the end. Oh, sorry.
For manufactured, I hear that they are going to have protests. For manufactured rage and crises that don't exist. Well, I want every laborite to protest against this hypocrisy tomorrow. I want every laborite, wherever you are, to protest in your workplace, to protest in the market, to protest wherever you are of the bad mindism of the PNP that is trying to bring down the progress of the people.
I really don't know what he's talking about there when he said the progress of the people. That I can't comment on because I really don't know what he's talking about. I cannot comment on that. But remember, this was the Prime Minister on Sunday asking labor rights to get into a confrontational gear. Continue, Prime Minister.
Stand up, labor rights. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. Stand up against the PNP.
Right. I could understand you want them to stand up against the PNP. That is understandable. It's politics. But to ask the labor rights Prime Minister Mahida, paid me already. To ask labor right to stand up for truth and justice. Do you understand what you're really saying? The Prime Minister of Jamaica, the most celebrated crook in our country, is talking about standing up for truth and justice. The Prime Minister, whose statutory declaration cannot be certified. This shouldn't be in night, so I don't disturb my neighbors. The Prime Minister, which is in front of the court, trying to struck out Section 14.5 of the Corruption Prevention Act, which caught the Prime Minister out for the crime of illicit enrichment, truth and justice. This Prime Minister, who have ordered men in uniform to shut down innocent young man, we don't know if you're a criminal or not before we shot you, but shot you, we will investigate after, talking about truth and justice. This Prime Minister, who him and his team is running riot in the healthcare and in education, is talking about truth and justice. How the range of a person can our Prime Minister be? No, is there a limit to derangement, or you can just walk down a long line of derangement? Because a derangement, them galang in here, you know. Truth and justice. I mean, you should be ashamed to say it, because you are the Prime Minister who the court have ruled against your unconstitutionally. We have lost count. They have ruled against your crookedness. See the recent NEPA ruling where and justice, $3 trillion unaccounted for over your 9 years in government, truth and justice. Countless of dead babies covered up by you and Dr. Tufton, truth and justice. A Prime Minister who opened the country in the middle of a pandemic because it was politically expedient for the Prime Minister to get an undemocratic majority to fuck up our legislature. Truth and justice. Is Andrew Holness serious? Or Andrew Holness come off of the pill them? Dr. Mande, come in the black. You know that call it that idiot one, you know. The Sapphire, the way if you call her, pronounce her name properly. Sapphire Longmore. Left them with out of it. Dr. Wendell Abel. Dr. Wendell Abel. You don't see work around the stuff you do? You know, see, Andrew look like Andrew really want to check out. Continue, Prime Minister. They say cock mouth kill cock, isn't it?
There was a time.
This is where I want you to listen to his tone of voice.
There was a time when the playbook of the PNP used to make labor rights afraid. Is a different labor right you're looking on today?
Is a different labor right you're looking on today? Do you hear the Don, the gangster, the street boy, the boy from the ghetto? Did you hear that? No, man, I never hear me play again. You never heard the Don, the trap house boy, the boy from the ghetto, the boy behind the zinc fence. You never heard the violence being advanced in his tone of voice, did you not? Didn't you heard the violence advance in the Prime Minister's tone of voice? Listen again.
When the playbook of the PNP used to make labor rights afraid, is a different labor right you're looking on today. Labor rights are proud of their party.
Tomorrow.
If you answer him, I don't think so. Leadership, Prime Minister. Until you start to lead and stop wallowing, because what you're doing at the moment is wallowing. You get angry at the drop of a hat, Prime Minister, for nothing. I mean, if we draw paper against you, you start bleeding. I mean, labor rights could be proud, mind you. Because some of them really think, I don't know if they believe it, they say it. I listened to them, I heard them. Some of them think you are the besties. As British children would have said, the besties or the bestest. Or the besties. A prime minister we've ever had since independence. Some of them really believe it. Some of them prime minister, it seems as if they're proud to be hungry. Some of them prime minister seems as if they're proud finna have water to bathe them kid. They and Campbell, how you do, my friend? Some of them prime minister look like them proud of the $5,000 and the KFC. So yes, they could be proud. But as I said, Prime Minister, you as the Prime Minister, when you address the country, when you open your mouth, rather, you're speaking on behalf of the nation. If you want to speak as a labor right Prime Minister, you wait until Parliament is dissolved when you're in a campaign mood. But for now, you're speaking to the nation whenever time you open your mouth, whether you understand it or not. Whenever time you open your mouth, you speak to or on behalf of the nation as the nation leader. You also, Prime Minister, set the moral code for the nation. If the Prime Minister does it, it is good enough for any one of us to do it. Even if it's illegal and the Prime Minister does it, once it is okay for the Prime Minister, it is okay for me. The Prime Minister sets the moral code of the country. The Prime Minister is a thief. He's a liar. He's a con man. He's a corrupt crook. He's a narcissist. He's nepotistic. He's egotistic. And he's a downright bitch. Some labor rights can really be proud of that. But you don't speak on behalf of labor rights as the Prime Minister for our country. You speak to the nation or on behalf of the nation, Prime Minister. What do we as a nation have to be proud of? Particularly under your tenure. You can't name it, you know. And you hear how long we are asked. And all know you're in the bingo bag just a rustle, so, and you can't come up with the right number. When are you going to pull the right number out of the bag, Prime Minister? That's why there's so much thieves in Andrew Holness' cabinet and in Andrew Holness' government and in the public sector that Andrew Holness run. The leader thief, the fish head dirty. Don't you expect the fish head tail to turn think at a later date? Eh? There's maggots, or we would say in Jamaica, maggots, in the fish head. Don't you think when them eat out all of the mushu out of the fish head, they're coming right down to the tail? Hmm? So that's why Andrew Holness run a cabinet, a parliament, and a public service of crooks. Them thief from children. They steal from children. They steal from the poor. They steal from the dead. Dangerous criminals, aren't they? Very dangerous criminal. They have no limit to their criminality. The Prime Minister sets the moral code for the country. If the Prime Minister is a criminal, a crook, a fraudster, and a gangster, what do you expect from the young men on the street and in the ghetto, Prime Minister? If they've seen you steal your way to stardom in this country, you have not worked a day in this country, Prime Minister. You have stolen your way to stardom. Do you expect the scammers to be any better? Don't you think they want to drive big car, live in big house, and live the big life like you, the thief, Prime Minister, and like your children who has amassed so much wealth out of the public purse, stolen by you and your wife? Don't you think poor people pick me want to live some life too? When you tap thief, a lot of the scamming will stop in the country. The scamming in our country, Prime Minister, is a mirror image of your stealing. It's a mirror image of how you and all of your guardians, wherever you put them, in wherever agencies or department, Andrew Holness, they're crooks. When was the last time your government had a break from corruption and scandal or money theft, Prime Minister? Listen to how leader, dignified people, and people with integrity, Prime Minister, speaks.
I'm going to care how them want go on like them say them have demonstration too. Demonstrate against bad mind. Well, we are demonstrating against corruption and mismanagement and the ruining of the state of Jamaica under this government. And the need for a new day and the need for elections now so the people of Jamaica can get rid of this government and install a government that they can have trust and confidence in. A government that will ensure that the resources of the people are used exclusively for the benefit of the people. And a government that don't come for scrape or rip off, but come to deliver change, positive change for the people. The people who are suffering right now because cost of living is so high. And the many jobs that are out there are not even paying a living wage. And people are struggling even though they're employed. And the farmers are feeling it. And when they get some fertilizer from foreign, courtesy of the Kingdom of Morocco, the laborites and their cronies are selling the fertilizer to the poor farmers who have been hit by beryl and need to get back on their feet. Fertilizer that should be given to them to help them get back on their feet is being sold to them. It's a disgrace.
Prime Minister, have you noted the difference in content, in demeanor, and how he presents himself? He's not angry. Brenda Elson, how are you? He's not enraged. He's not asking anyone to attack anyone. He's just asking the nation to stand up for what is right. He's not in any confrontation with you. You hear the difference, Prime Minister? Did you hear the difference? How the leader of a country should speak to the people, rather than calling them stray dogs or telling them that they are bad mind. Prime Minister, go to school. You know, the labor rights have this to say. Andrew Holness is the brightest prime minister since independence. He's the only one to have a doctorate. He's the only buffoon, though, isn't it? Isn't Andrew Holness the only buffoon we've ever had in leadership in our country? Tell me of another buffoon that we've ever had in leadership in our country. Yes, he's the brightest. He's had more degree. He's got a bachelor. He's got a master's. And he's got a PhD. Blah, de, blah, de, roo, de, roo. Yes, he's the brightest. But isn't he the most buffoonery, though? Isn't the Prime Minister the biggest buffoon we've ever had as a leader? Given he's the brightest. On paper, mind you. You see, intelligence, labor rights, comes with self-control. When you reach that level of intelligence, you are in control of yourself. Andrew Holness has not achieved that yet. Andrew Holness, Dr. Bro God, has not reached there yet. No, Dr. Bro God is 52. Come this July, Dr. Bro God will be 53. You see, if you have a bad habit or a nasty ways, and you don't start work on it by the age 30 to 35, and you carry it over beyond 35, you're never going to get rid of it. And you're too old for stop thief, too old for stop lie, too old to stop dabble in a corruption and cronyism. The poor guy doesn't know any other way. Andrew thinks stealing and lying is normal. And you've got to understand the psyche as well. How the mind works. The mind is an empty space. You put what you want there, and you can let the mind believe it is so. You can train the mind to believe a lie. It's normal in psychology. Andrew Holness has trained himself to believe certain things. And we cannot untrain that thinking. You can train your mind to believe a lie. You can train your mind to believe whatever. You can create a story in your mind and you can repeat it over and over, and you can tell people over and over. Your mind will accept it to be factual or true. It doesn't know any better. Andrew Holness at this stage, other than going to prison, I don't think he can change. Stealing has become normalized for Andrew. Lying. Look, even some things that Andrew can be honest about. The Prime Minister go on a tangent of lies. Sorry. It's because lying for the Prime Minister, he's in his natural habitat. So if him tell the truth, it sound really weird to him. It would sound really weird to the prime minister if he tries to be honest. He has lived in the left side of his brain for so long, it's going to be difficult to get out of it. And he's going to carry this very long with him. Why? Because what he will have to do throughout the ages is defend a dismal track record. So just like he lied continuously in government or making up things as he go along, believing it on his own, he's going to have to go out of politics, continue doing the same thing. Oh yes, Debbie, it can really work. Just look at religion. Religion can get people to believe anything you want them to believe, because when they say people believe they're saying something, and people believe they're speaking in tongues. I mean, you can train people to believe a lie. Literally, the brain doesn't know what is a lie or not. You literally can train it to believe anything you repeat in the brain enough, it accepts it as reality. And if you tell the brain that a truth is a lie, and you continuously tell the brain the truth is a lie, that's what the brain is going to believe. The problem with Andrew Holness, he has done it to himself. It's not people brainwash him. That's how brainwashing works. It's not people brainwash Andrew Holness. He brainwashed himself. Because the guy is greedy. The guy is dishonest. And because of his greed and his dishonesty, it comes with a whole cabinet of lies. Everything, because you know the old phrase, once you tell one lie, you have to tell a string of continuous lie to protect the first lie that you told. This is what Andrew Holness has fallen into. Continue to tell lies to protect it. Look at prosperity. The prime minister lied about bringing prosperity to us. He knew it was a lie when he told the country that. But what the prime minister has done over the 9 years is continue to tell other lies as to what has stood in the way of him bringing you prosperity. But everything but the truth of he's done fuck all to bring prosperity to us. He will never say that. He will never say the time that me and my cronies were stealing, we could have been bringing you prosperity. He would never say that. His brain doesn't understand how to communicate like that. He will go off on the hurricane. He'll go off on COVID. He'll go off on anything but his failure. Which makes Andrew Holness a dangerous person. Because when you're in a mood of protectionist, and this is what Donald Trump is using to destroy America at the moment, protectionism. It's all about me. Nobody else but me exists. That makes Andrew Holness very dangerous. Very dangerous. It is why Andrew Holness wants to cling on to power, will do everything or anything to cling on to power. It is why Andrew Holness is agitating the Jamaica Labour Party. It's why Andrew Holness is pushing the Jamaica Labour Party to have a all-out confrontation with the People's National Party, because him can say the nation is at war. We're having civil war in the country. And by that, we cannot have a general election. And if the prime minister get him teeth into that, then all the prime minister have to do is spread the guns and money over the country to continue the civil war in order to keep himself in power. Andrew Holness is very dangerous, and we must pay attention. Andrew Holness is all about himself. Nothing Andrew Holness is doing is about the people. Truth and justice, the Prime Minister says. Justice, Prime Minister. Fairness. Fairness is a major part of justice. Because if justice is not fair, Prime Minister, it is not justice. If justice is not fair, Prime Minister, it is not justice. The rule of law, Prime Minister says. All of us are subjected to the rule of law. Now, when you became under investigation for illicit enrichment, and you on the Public Service Commission chose to appoint Dennis Chung, a JLP supporter, a chief defender of Andrew Holness, a frontliner who attacks the Integrity Commission. In context, Prime Minister, truth and justice, how does Dennis Chung appointment stands in the truth and justice remit? How does Dennis, if when you speak of the labor rights should stand up for truth and justice, or is it that we are attacking Dennis Chung? Prime Minister, it's hard to work you out because some people take your words for it, but me have to look on the left side or the back side where you talk on. Good evening, Professor Chent. Oh, no, don't block Professor Chent. He's a regular. Professor Chent, before you go, can you explain to me what you think one will sue me or is going to sue me about? What have I said about the Prime Minister that the Prime Minister would be able to sue me? And would he be able to say, Professor Chent? Because Chent gone out of uno, you know. Chent. Professor Chent. What it is that I've said that Andrew Holness can sue me? Can you say what it is that you think I've libel or slandered here? What are my libel or slander? Can you say? What are my libel or my slander, Professor Chent? But it is hard to keep up with Andrew Holness because when Andrew Holness speaks, you have to decode him. You can't just take Andrew words for it. It is not what he means. You refer to the PM as dangerous. Oh God, Professor Chent, where are you? Which country do you live in? And which planet? Or Andrew Holness is dangerous. The man's a thief. All thieves are dangerous, Professor Chent. All thieves are dangerous because they will kill you if you take your things. The Prime Minister has ordered his criminals to shoot down innocent young men in our country. Because if you're going to shoot them, then investigate after. How about when you find out that that young man was innocent? You know, the judge or maker thing. That's a dangerous person. I hope none of your relatives stand in front of the Prime Minister's gun that he has ordered to shoot young people down in our country, Professor Chent. The Prime Minister is not only dangerous, but he's a very wicked and evil man. That Christian boy, that Adventist boy, you know, the Adventist church where Patrick Allen thief up the whole heap of money, where Patrick Allen run off with the offering plate. You never heard of that, Professor Chent? Did you heard when Patrick Allen ran off with the offering plate for East Jamaica Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church? They're all criminals, Professor Chent. They are all criminals, and I dare any one of them to sue me. I have no problem with lawsuit. They can't send the police to buckle my hands. And even if they do, prison cell in a Britain a nice place. And a chaka galangin. We can get TV and PlayStation and microwave in a cell. Bring it on. What does that have to do with the PM? Everything. Everything to do with the PM. When you go accept Professor Chent, say Andrew is a thief and a liar. When you go accept say Andrew holness, mash up the country and mash up on a party. When you go accept Professor Chent, say God no Andrew holness, we're tired of keeping up with your corruption, you know. When you not go tell Andrew say, give the people, give us something to talk about. Do something good, make we talk about. There's no more thieving. Yeah, give us something good to talk about, Prime Minister. We will talk about it. Just what is there? What has Andrew Holness given us, Professor Chent, to talk about? What are the goodies in Andrew Holness government, Professor Chent, that you can write right here in the comment so we can know of it? Want to only talk without evidence. We need evidence for Natalie. So the Prime Minister a thief. Looking at the Integrity Commission report, that's the source of us calling the Prime Minister a thief, darling. He's got millions passing through accounts, which he cannot say where it is coming from, how you get it down, who it belongs to. That's the source, my dear, for calling the Prime Minister a thief. The Prime Minister has been referred to the Financial Investigation Division. They only investigate financial crimes, my dear. That's our source for calling the Prime Minister a thief. The Prime Minister is yet to justify he's not a thief. Under defamation law, my dear, it is the Prime Minister that have to prove to me, who call him a thief, that he's not a goddamn thief. And the Prime Minister is unable to do that because your Prime Minister was unable to tell the Integrity Commission where you got those millions from. The Prime Minister, my dear, is a crook. A dangerous one at that. Professor Chent, you're gone? You see, every time you ask Labour rights to write something good about Andrew. You see, every time you ask Labour rights, well, Professor Chent, me ask you, write something good, make me talk something good about Andrew. But don't talk about public money where they spend public money or the job description where we give them. Don't talk about it as achievement. Because they not praise we. When we got work a man in time, they not praise we if we do the job where they pay we for do. So we don't want to not come name out where we pay Andrew for do as achievement. What has Andrew done for us to be proud of? I'm tired to ask Labour rights this question. And I can't, weeks and months now, and I can't get an answer. What has Andrew Holness done? Thanks for the follow, Queen G. What has Andrew Holness done for the nation to be proud of? Go. Not even one. Not even one. What? Let me repeat the question. What in 9 years has Andrew Holness done for the nation to be proud of? Labor rights. Go. Finger them seas. Finger them grow barnacle upon them. Finger them a grow jonjo and mole like away there in the hospital them a Jamaica. I'm waiting. Waiting. This is the problem. This is the problem. Them like to come tell we, so we are going to get lawsuit. We are going to get this. Them all start checking about shot and thumping our mouth. No. What in 9 years has Andrew Holness done? He is responsible for the new social pension scheme. What new social pension scheme? We've always had a social pension scheme. It's an extension of the pension scheme. And not new. Them just extend pension to more and more people. We're not talking about just like when credit Siaga the heart trust. No, it was called training center. Siaga just expand it. Andrew never coined pension. Pension was always there. He's expanding it. So he's not responsible for social pension. He's expanding. So the net can catch more people in it. And not new. Just like when on a boat, Heart NHT or whatever I name. No. It has always existed. It did exist as training center. It did exist as training center. Siaga just build some bigger building and change the name and some more speciality come in, but that always exists. I don't know when you pension scheme I talk about, but anything pension is an extension. It just would be widening the net. It's not anything new. Hear what Andrew Holness done. This is something Tony Blair did as well. To coin things in his own, he is responsible for the expansion of pension to people who did not contribute to NIS. That is not actually true, because my grandmother was always getting state pension from me a Pikini. And my grandmother was a higgler, was a fish vendor. She never contribute to the galangin one I talk about. The pension pension always exists in Jamaica. It's just that the net has been broadened. But my grandmother get Jamaica pension from me picking, and me used to go collect a post office and go a post office apparati and go black or a post office go cash it. It's not anything new. Anybody will have a grandmother in the 80s and 90s. No. So them used to go collect them grandmother pension. But what Andrew Holness does is use one word and think the one word can fool with. New social pension. new social housing. Just to say it's Andrew Holness. No, Professor Chent. Don't make Andrew use the word new over. The reason why Andrew Holness came with the word new is because the thing already existed. Jesus have mercy. I want to knock my head in myself in my forehead. It already existed, Professor Trent. It is the reason why your prime minister affixed the word new. 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 Meaning that it exists, but I'm forming my own set of bullshit. It is why he called it new this and new. Him soon start talk about new road and new water. Don't be confused by the word new. That is what is confusing you all labor rights. And we could go there talk, say Andrew did this. No, it was there. It did it. It been dead there. Andrew Holness just fix the word new to it for fool, So don't come out here and talk the same thing them. Over 60s and 70s I get pension in a Jamaica from colonial days. So now stop it and make Andrew come out here and I go on like say him do this and that. The word new give everything away. The fact that he say new pension scheme, new social housing. Why Andrew didn't continue what was there and come up with something brand new for himself? I don't stop make the youth confused on my youth. On our big people, on responsible for teaching the next generation. You can't take up the bullshit them when the prime minister speak them and run with them. You all are teaching children. And it is dangerous in this time and age when information is so open and publicly, and you have a duty to pass down knowledge to children, and you advance a blatant lie and stupidity of the prime minister. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's annoying. Children are listening to you all. New. It did exist. That's why the only changes in could I make to it is add the word new. New. Ask anybody in the 80s if they don't used to go collect their grandmother pension at post office. I don't know, new. My grandmother was a fish vendor. When TRN come in, my grandmother dead. My grandmother don't know about TRN. My grandmother don't know about the NIS system. But my grandmother used to get her state pension every month. So don't come here with the propaganda like Andrew Holness. If you want to say Andrew Holness is widening the net of the pension scheme, say that. I would accept that. But what you said is not true. No, there's nothing new about the new social housing. Both PJ, Portia, Bruce, and Andrew run that project dismally. The difference with Andrew, though, Andrew have two programs running alongside each other. He's running one, Desmond McKenzie is running one. It's an awful waste of money because the NHT is not being used as how it was formed. Everybody is playing shit with the NHT. from PJ right down to Andrew. It's not been used for its right purpose, particularly under Andrew Holness government. A lot of the money has been squandered, like the 11 billion were only meant to be taken out for 4 years. It never meant to lend him friend from Dexim 650 million to enrich himself without we benefiting anything bar 20 million, which one of Dexim properties more than 20 million. So how about the house being built as a concrete? You all are looking at materialism. Whether the house is concrete or board, it's livable. It is not the issue for me. The issue for me is using the National Housing Trust money as Mark Golden has proposed. And those who listen to Global TV would know that Mark Golden proposal, I've always been talking about it for a long time. When Andrew Holness comes up, every time Andrew Holness comes up with this new social housing argument, my argument to Andrew Holness always was, no, it's not. That's not how social housing operate. The social housing, those are we who especially live in North America and Europe, we know how social housing operate. The government build houses, the government rent them to you under a priority basis. And in my case, when I got my place, my rights to buy came 3 years after I got my tenancy. Now it's gone up to 5 years. That is what social housing is. The same rent to buy you hear Mark Golden spoke about, that is social housing. The government used the NHT money to build a lot of Redaby housing scheme, apartment blocks, or whatever, de-ghettoizing Jamaica, as the purpose was for the National Housing Trust. It's not been used for the right purpose. With no, all of the government after Michael Manley fucked with the NHT. Andrew though has raided it. What does full of PMP-ism mean? You see, Professor Ched, when you speak of a word as ism or ologies, you must give definition for those words. In academia, Professor Trent, if you're coming up with an ism or an ology, you must give a definition. If you're telling me that I'm full of PMP-ism, I would want to know what PMP-ism is. So you must provide me a definition for PMP-ism. So that I can understand. But if PNP-ism is about truth and justice, I really have no problem with that. If PNP-ism is about truth and justice, if PNP-ism is about standing up for what is right, if PNP-ism is about asking for a fairer deal for us, the people, then I wouldn't mind being a PNP. But do you have anything else? Because we make know say them two something they not new. They were there before. A fixing a word new doesn't make a difference. For me, a concrete house or a board house properly built doesn't matter. A concrete house or a board house properly built doesn't matter, because the board house cooler than the concrete house. Because someone with a concrete house, I don't know what is something them put up at top there, sir? On a decking, on a can't turn in there if you don't have an air condition. board house is not generally subjected to that. So the material side of things, me grew up in a touch lot house, so material part of things not really matter to me. If it's a properly built board house or properly built wall house, it's still a house. You're sheltered from the storm. So how would you analyze JLP-ism? I've never created a JLP-ism. I would call on a JLP crooks and liars and criminals. That I can tell you what it is. Or like I coin you all as Busterites. Now, the definition of a Busterite is a dunce, angry, deranged person. That's my definition of a Busterite when I say a Busterite. So a Busterite would equal an angry, deranged person. So you understand, you must give a definition. I'm not talking about PNP crooks. I'm talking about labor right crooks. I'm not doing pound for penny over here. I'm talking about leadership and only one leader at a time. At the moment, if Andrew Holness wants us to criticize the PNP, I will gladly do so. He will, though, first need to call the election so the people can choose if they want to continue with a crook or they want a better proposed direction. Professor Chent, is there anything else that you want to tell us that Andrew Holness has done in this country for us to be proud of? Because so far you have not yet. So far, the new social housing and the new pension scheme, they were already there. That's why he affixed the word new to them to fool those who can be fooled. It was there. There's nothing new about it. The only thing new about it is the lie told by the Prime Minister. What next? Next. It was there. So don't come try fool with you. We're in a band back a cow. We're in a band with woman Madiaga River.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that they only sit aside and rub and cheat and not press the poor. Make up what I seen him. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see they didn't can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Professor Chent, you till there? Professor Chent, hold up your hand if you're still there. I want to ask you one question. Are you still here, Professor Chent? If you are here and you're hearing me, yes, you're still here. What is your opinion on the drill? Just your general opinion on the drill. What is your opinion on it? Write in the comment and tell us what's your opinion on the drill. Do you think it's good price for money? What's your opinion on the drill? Or do you think Dr. Dawes is just going on about dry trash blowing in the wind? What do you think, Professor Chent, about the drill, the $32 million drill, that nobody cannot see the justification for the price of it? Do you have an opinion on the drill? The $32 million drill? You know, if this prime minister was a young man in the ghetto, everybody in the ghetto would be calling the prime minister a criminal, a crook, and a thief. The behavior of the prime minister, if this prime minister was a youth in the ghetto, this prime minister would be called a chopper, a scammer. None of the scammers who we talk about, we know of, have 28 bank accounts, isn't it? If this prime minister was a youth in the ghetto, he would be a top chopper. What is the difference between the prime minister and a youth in the ghetto? One wears a suit and is chauffeur-driven with state protection. The other may drive himself and carry an illegal weapon. Both of them, both are criminals and crooks. Shouldn't the police be pointing guns at both of them or arresting both of them? We've never had a more shameless crook in our country than Andrew Holness. The truth is, you, the labor rights, know it. You are just damn well too much ashamed. You all are just damn well too much ashamed to accept the reality that we, the people of Jamaica, made a mistake by giving Andrew Holness power. We didn't know how greedy he was. But we made a horrible mistake. I am not acquainted with pricing or procurement for the drill, but I support the benefit of it. Right. I will play Dr. Dawes' procurement procedure. I will let Dr. Dawes explain for you how the procurement procedure works. If you don't know, then one should inform you. So I want Dr. Dawes, where is Dr. Dawes, to explain the procurement procedure for us and how things and where things can go wrong in such a process.
So from this drill saga started, the Jamaica Labour Party and their operatives, they have tried to report me to the medical council. They have threatened me with not one, not two, but 3 lawsuits. Now they're reporting me to the political ombudsman. I don't know what they're going to do next.
Yes, Michelle, I assure
you.
I do have the proof. The Integrity Commission report, the lack of a appropriations report from the Prime Minister's office, all of those are proof that the Prime Minister is a thief, because the Prime Minister cannot verify where he got millions from. And the Prime Minister cannot tell the state of Jamaica millions that he has spent in various departments. The Prime Minister is a thief. And yes, we have proof for that.
I'm not suicidal, but they're going to continue to try and damage my name, damage my reputation, because that's how they work. So I need you to understand why I firmly believe the process for the procurement of this drill was flawed. So come into my class. Welcome to Procurement 101. And today we're going to learn how you can use loopholes in the system to buy a $3 million drill for $31 million and still say that the process is above board. So the procurement process starts with a request from the end users, the doctors who are going to be using the drill. They write up a request. It goes to prepare a tender document with all the specifications of that drill that is needed to perform the functions that they require as the end user. A public advertisement is placed in the papers and the media in general, and from that, bids from registered suppliers are submitted. In this case, a bid for $12 million, $31.5 million, and $50 million were submitted. These bids went to an evaluation committee where they look back at the tender document to see whether or not the drills can perform the functions that the end users wanted in the initial request. In this case, the $12 million drill was excluded, leaving the doctors, the biomed engineers, and the procurement personnel to choose between a $31.5 million drill and a $50 million drill. Obviously, the choice would have come down to the way cheaper drill that was $31.5 million. This evaluation committee made a recommendation that was sanctioned by the Public Procurement Committee that certified that this process.
No, Dr. Dawes wasn't a part of the process.
Is above board, and after that, the contract was awarded. The problem is this: during the process, this part that nobody speaks about, that has been intentionally dismissed and hidden, is where the corruption occurred, because someone did an internal costing and determined that this drill that anyone can see online for close to about $3 to $4 million was valued at $32 million. Nobody can explain who came up with that costing and how they arrived at that costing, or how is it that Medical Technologies Limited was able to come in right under that $32 million bid. Now, this internal costing is important because if it were a reasonable cost and the bids were way out, the process would have to be aborted and resent to tendering again. But having this high cost for that $3 million drill by Sarah from the persons who did the internal costing allowed any bidder to bid close to $32 million. And in this case, when it was reviewed by the Public Procurement Committee, they actually saw that the $31.5 million was a 2% discount to what those folks at Sarah had predicted the drill would cost. So therefore, not knowing anything at all about the drill and the market price, because that was not their task, these committees, they said that this drill was value for money. And this is why you're not being told about the internal costing, because that is where the whole process was compromised. Do your research. You understand how it happened now. Oh, one other thing. I have to ask the company, was there any other drill of a similar nature that was sold in Jamaica recently? We have the answers, and that will surprise you when it comes out soon.
So that's how the procurement procedure works. Professor Chent, you're a big man. I don't know if you have children, but your job is not to protect the Prime Minister, it's to guide the future. That's a big difference. Your job is to guide the future. Be honest to the younger minds and not to be cronyized by this Prime Minister. Right. This is the propaganda of all of you labor rights. While criticizing the price, do you support its benefits? Let me answer this question in this way. The benefits is out of the question. It has never been an issue. It's not an issue for any of us. So I will not answer that question because it has never been an issue. It isn't an issue. It's not a part of the debate. What the debate is about. Couldn't we, Professor Trent, have gotten more drills that can span over the island from that $32 million rather than one? That's the issue, Professor Chen. It's not about we shouldn't have the drill. And it's not about it doesn't matter how expensive it is because we have a drill. That's not the issue. And you labor rights regularly do it. You go on to an issue that's not in question. The benefits of the drill has never come up in question. You all shouldn't go off on a waddle about that. No one is disputing the benefit of the drill. What we're rather asking the government, we could have gotten more out of it. Why can't Professor Trent see it like that? That rather than one, we could have possibly got 6. That is what the issue is. It's not the benefits. We're asking Professor Trent for more benefit because if we get 6 out of the $32 million, it would be more beneficial than the 1. I'm not talking about the national debt. I don't do finances. My master's in law was in business, in international business and finance, but not because it says business and finance. I only deal with regulations. I don't understand numbers. So I'm not going to get into your debate, Professor Chen. We're talking about Andrew. What the proof is out there, Professor Chen, is that the PNP has always been better on the economy than labor rights. The proof is out there. Whether you want to accept it, I'm answering you. I told you I don't deal with numbers in economy. Everybody knows that when it comes to numbers in an economy, I don't deal with those things because I'm going to talk to you about something I don't understand. But I'm saying to you that it is not the point of my conversation as to who can bring down the debt, the national economy, rather than look at inflation under your government. Look at low minimum wage under Portia and PJ compared to food price under them. And look at the high minimum wage, a substantial wage raise that Andrew gave in minimum wage compared to food price. Now, me not discuss the national debt and them something because I don't understand it. I don't understand economy. That wasn't my area. So me not debate economy. But that is not what I'm using to hold Andrew Holness to account. The figures, though, Professor Trent, shows that the country economy is in recession. You all, Andrew, and everyone around don't want to accept it, but that's what the figures says. I'm going with the figures. I'm going with the figures. So we're not talking about the benefits of the drill, because if we're looking at benefits, Professor Trent, you all are stabbing yourself here, because the money spent, Professor Trent, we know what we know based on the prices that we're researching on our mobile phone, Professor Trent. We possibly could have gotten 6. So what we would do, Professor Chen, we would maximize the benefit that you are talking about at the moment. So your sister, even the benefit we will not talk about, we will not be able to talk about it in the right way. Because if it's about benefit, more of it give us more benefit. More of it. We get more benefit out of it. To put inside the one jail broke down, Professor Chent. To post and say the one jail broke down in the middle of surgery, Professor Chen. We could have gotten 5 or 6 out of that $32 million. That is what the issue is. Our issue, Professor Chen, the benefit you're talking about, our issue is more benefit for the money we spend. What we got, what you're talking about, Professor Trent, is less benefit compared to what we spend. No, here you go again. Sorry we got one. Not sorry we got one. It's a disgrace that we took so much money and by one when we could have paid for 5 or 6, Professor Trent. Why can't you see? How would you teach your child mathematics, Professor Trent? If you're teaching him that 1 is the top bar, don't think about 100. Because once you have 1, you meet the top mark. Come on, Professor Trent. One thing broke down. What we wanted was 6 or more. If you understand where the conversation is going, what we wanted for the money we spent was 6 or more. We're horrified, Professor Trent, that after spending so much money, we could only got 1 dege out of it. Don't you think that's something weird? Something crooked gone wrong somewhere there? Because none of the search online, you can buy those same EM800 drill set online for 14,000 UK pounds. Professor Trent, we are not seeing any pricing for that EM800 drill set that marks up 32 million Jamaican dollars. What we are seeing, we could have got about 6 or 5 drill. Professor Chen, do the maths. Do the maths. So when we call Andrew Holness a thief and a crook, when we call Andrew Holness a thief and a crook, we don't have to worry about lawsuit. If the Prime Minister wants to go and sue us, he's free to do it. It doesn't change, though, that the Prime Minister is a thief and a crook. A shameless one as that. Shameless with it. Shameless with his corruption. I mean, he's not doing it at the back door anymore. Right on the veranda. Everybody will pass can see it. Una labor rights? Me, I go live to hear Holy Pound turn around criticize Andrew Holness. Because the truth a bite you know. Hungry kill you know. Hungry kill the whole Jamaica. But the rest of Jamaica speak out about the hungry. Uno suck salt through wooden spoon labor right. Hungry kill you like the rest of we are not going like uno not hungry. Uno hungry and we going like uno not hungry. But me, as mama always say, ants I go carry come on my grave, come tell me. Say, uno, we're out here and making ourselves like fool for the Prime Minister. Uno go turn around and blame the Prime Minister for the destruction of the Jamaica Labour Party when you all realize that we can't find a leader to lead us anymore and we have become unelectable indefinitely. You remember Siaga tried and tried and tried and tried again, but he has to step away as the leader of the opposition. Do you see a viable leader? Do you see a unifying leader for the Jamaica Labour Party post Andrew Holness after a dismal defeat at the general election? Professor Chent, do you see a leader that can unify the party? Dr. Holness shall lead till we son him. Whoa! What a ram goat piss and puss and mad puss piss. Which one make you go mad easier, Professor Chent? Or one they say mix the two of them together. Ram goat piss and mad puss piss. Want to prepare yourself for the shock? Professor Chent, want to prepare on yourself for the trailer crash election night? Me say if you want to prepare for the trailer crash election night. Hey, you see, when you buck up in the wall, the farthest it go pitch on the back. I don't know when Labour will get back in power. It's only after Andrew Holness leave you know go see the destruction that Andrew Holness cast in the Jamaica Labour Party. Andrew Holness mash up the party I left for go now. Andrew Holness mash up the party. I left one mash up party go now. Bruce Golden scrape after the wicked evil Siaga take you and mash you up. Hold on to power in dear life which he could never get back. Because Jamaica people say, no way. And Bruce Golden run away. And Bruce Golden come back. And Bruce Golden scrape and could barely cross it. Barely cross it. And then Portia take it back for now again. You know why? Because Andrew Holness came with some bright, shiny diamond lies. And because the people were fed up of the old gods, the people said, Chuck, one young boy from the ghetto come over barefoot and grow up in a board house like we. Why not try him? It was the most dangerous mistake that this country has ever made. Sleep on that, Professor Trent. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight on Global TV. Lovely to have your support as always. If you are new to Global TV, please give us a subscription and a follow. So when we go live, you certainly get our notification. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the program. And two people don't know if black when they come around here. It's Professor Trent and Max Romeo. When them come, on don't trouble them. Them can't talk. The rest of foolish labor right them. If them go to line, just move them. Nobody have time for down labor right these days. Thanks and good night. Oi, me say. Me don't know if I go sleep in a peace tonight, you know. Because the way I want to get up a morning, come here, when I'm the fish and the cocoa bread and patty too late, so I can't name not more tonight. But I can't wait for daylight, man. I have East Indian mango, common mango, plum, corn shambami, breadfruit, patty cocoa bread, fish. No, sir. If you don't see me tomorrow, I don't know, say I have food, do me something. But I shall glorify myself in Jamaica Grubbins tomorrow. So thank you all and good night from Global TV.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is all dead. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first the poor. Make up what I seen him. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see? They didn't can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see? They didn't can sell out Rasta. I sell out. I sell out Babylon. Just talk on the Friday. You want show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and Joe one stone. And it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big him and Joe one stone. And it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman Joe one stone. And it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.